Tippy time, my damies, Top Cat here, and welcome to the channel. I've been working on the idea of this Revenant Hunter for a while, but it's only now with updates to the slow by a 10% buff, an extra fragment slot for our Winter Shroud aspect, and a glitch to a fragment, which I'll explain later on in the video, that this build has come into fruition. Combining tremendous attacks and retreats with overshields to keep us alive, 3 damage buffs to work easily both in run and gun and boss DPS phases with near full uptime. If you're enjoying the video, please don't forget to like, it always goes a long way, and without further ado, let's get into the video. We start with our exotic, the Mask of Bakris. Its perk, Light Shift, replaces your stasis subclass dodge ability with a longer range, faster moving dodge similar to a blink. After shifting, your arc weapons deal increased damage for 11 seconds, and deal bonus damage to all slowed or frozen targets. Winter Shroud aspect, dodging slows nearby targets. We can also combine this with our melees, grenades, supers and chill clip to freeze targets. Whisper of Durance, slow from your abilities lasts longer. For those abilities that linger, their duration will increase. Whisper of Refraction, defeating slowed or frozen targets grants you class ability energy, as whilst the light shift is active, your class ability will not be charging. Grim Harvest, defeating slowed or frozen targets creates a stasis shard. These shards grant melee energy when picked up. And this is where the loop begins. Every target you want to apply slowed debuff to. Whether this is through grenades, shifts, melee, supers or weapons, get them slowed and create that ability loop. For easy use, we are going to use the Whisper of Conduction to drag nearby stasis shards to you for easier collection. And Whisper of Rhyme, this makes it so collecting these shards grants a small amount of overshield. Each shard is 20% of your shield. This is going to fall off after 10 seconds, however additional shards top it back up and refresh the timer. Gambler's Dodge will give us 2 shurikens per dodge when done next to enemies. I want a lot of melee uptime because we are going to use the Whisper of Impetus. This fragment is currently bugged for our benefit, and hopefully Bungie doesn't find out about this all too soon. It's meant to reload stowed weapons when we damage enemies with our melee, however it's reloading your equipped weapons, saving you precious much needed seconds in a DPS space. I'm of course using the Dustfield Grenade as this build wants slow stacks applied to all targets to keep those shards flowing. Our second damage bonus comes from the Monochromatic Maestro mod. Dealing damage with elemental abilities grants increased damage to weapons of the same element type for 6 seconds. This in turn buffs our ability damage for 6 seconds and thus becomes a perpetual damage loop of weapon damage, ability damage, weapon damage, ability damage. We are going to be using the Elemental Shards mod to transform the identity of our shards to wells. Elemental Time Dilation mod is used so we can double stack our Font of Might mods in our chest and legs. This gives us a 15-second damage window for our stasis weapons every time we collect a stasis shard, of which these are just littered around the battlefield for us. With a 25% damage buff, Font of Might is superior to High Energy Fire's 20% buff. And this doesn't go away after a kill like High Energy Fire's does. A lot of people find Font of Might builds can often be impractical for DPS phases, but with the superior Wellmaker mod, we can pop our super at the beginning of DPS phase for that Font of Might DPS. When it comes to our weapon selection, we have many great options. We can now target farm the Vorpal Riptide at Shaxx. The Seasonal Battlegrounds offers us the Fire and Forget Aggressive Frame Linear Fusion Rifle, which makes light work of all bosses with juicy crit spots. Weapons like the Aegis Scepter are very strong when it comes to ad clear, but it's perhaps the Chill Clip perk found on legendary weapons that works best on this build, as hits with the top half of the mag cause a detonation that slows targets. Enough slow stacks will freeze them. Due to the slow feature, it also creates shards for our Font of Might, our melee regeneration and our overshields, and is so good in fact that it freezes barriers, giving me a chance to kill them before they put their barricade down. This works in all content outside of contest mode, and is so good in fact I don't run a barrier champ mod on this build. The Duality's Lingering Dread has Chill Clip and Ambitious Assassin, which I've been enjoying, particularly in conjunction with the Whisper of Impetus fragment for those melee reloads. The Zephyr, which is currently out for a limited time, has the perk Cold Steel. I would recommend getting this as outside of the exotic lament this is my favourite sword. The Typhoon GL5 is a world drop with Chill Clip and actually does good shatter damage and can be very efficient at burst damage if you can get the ammo to fund it. Taking a second look at the Fire and Forget, it can also roll with Headstone and Chill Clip in separate slots. This is great if you're looking for a linear more suited for champions and mages. We even have a rocket option with the Palmyra B if this is more to your playstyle. For our stats, we prioritize mobility, strength, discipline, and resistance, recovery, intellect. There's plenty of space for ammo finders, grenade kickstart, and champ mods if required. We're double stacking energy diffusion substrate, space for scavengers, and if you can, I use an Artifice Armor class item. You can get this from dungeons to equip the low entropy superconductor. This stasis melee stun works absolute wonders on unstoppable champions and is one hit stun regardless of difficulty. The Lord Carbon's Basilisk mod is also pretty damn tasty on overload champs. Anyway mate damies, this is our first hunter build of the season. I hope you did enjoy it. It's got crowd control sorted, never shy on damage. I tried to make this as well rounded and versatile as possible for flexibility for both encounters and for your own personal twists. Sub if you're new, a thumbs up is always appreciated. I'll make sure to leave a dim in the description below. Feel free to leave any questions or suggestions. And until next time, tippy tie my damies, what a tie.